My name is Amanda Juling. I've had successful surgery at KC Bariatric. My whole life I've struggled with weight management. I have tried keto diets, low carb diets, Atkins diets, medication for weight loss, and I would be successful for about a year, but all the weight would come back and then some. And so I knew gastric bypass was the only tool that would be permanent and successful for me. I had health problems. I had sleep apnea. I had PCOS. I was taking metformin for a period of time. I had a lot of low back pain and hip pain and just general uneasiness with my size and just being really uncomfortable. I no longer have any health issues. I don't have sleep apnea anymore. I sleep like a rock. My PCOS symptoms have subsided. I don't take metformin anymore. My low back pain has pretty much been eliminated, and my hip pain has been pretty much eliminated. So for someone who's considering weight loss surgery, I would say at first it's scary. So just know going into this scary, a lot of unknowns. Getting over the fear of the surgery is the first hump. And then also it's scary knowing that the relationship with your food is going to change drastically. And for some folks, food is comfort. And so you got to think through, what else can I do to fulfill that need for comfort, or if it's anxiety or depression. But I think knowing we all go through that, we all have things that we're scared about, but there's good things to come, you just don't know they're out there yet. I started endurance training without knowing it was endurance training. When COVID hit, I would walk every day with my husband, and that was our special time. And our walks got longer, and they turned into jogging, and then turned into running, and the 2 miles turned into 5, and then 10, and up to 11. Then I learned that that's endurance training. I didn't know that was considered endurance training. And then I have a half marathon coming up, and I want to just do it to say I've done it, but I think I'm going to be able to place in it, which is really cool. So I learned how to train for a half marathon really on my own, but I wasn't making a lot of progress. And so I reached out for specialized trainers, one in running and then one in lifting and nutrition. And so for those two trainers, I was able to work on different areas of my body for strength, and then the other one for my cardiovascular element of running, so I could run faster. When I was heavier in the past, I would attempt to run a 5K, and I wouldn't be able to run a 5K completely. So what's ironic about that is this morning I ran 3 miles really quick, and that's equivalent of a 5K, and then another 6 miles on top of that. So it's gotten so much easier just with training and consistency, that half marathon doesn't seem very scary anymore. So nutrition as a post-op RNY patient for endurance training is very difficult. There's not a lot of literature out there and research in terms of nutrition. I have reached out to dietitians specifically for this around the Kansas City area, and I have not found anyone that specializes in this. So I've actually done a lot of research myself online, and my nutritionist is also my weight trainer for lifting. He gave me a food plan to try, but a lot of it is around carbs and sugars. And so what I do is I try to introduce just a little bit at a time, typically at a gym when I'm not outside, to see how my body reacts to that food. Since I don't get that hungry feeling in my stomach, I know I'm not eating enough because I get very lethargic and I'm really tired. So when I'm out running, I try to take just little things that I know will help me. For example, raisins, or I have like these little granola bars that are really low in sugar that have peanut butter to kind of snack on along the way. But truly it's an experiment every day. I don't know what works yet, and I think that's a big opportunity in the bariatric space, is just that literature around bariathletes. What should they be eating? What can they eat? How do they hit that peak performance with their nutrition? So after my weight loss surgery, one thing that was unexpected that I didn't know would happen was the deepening of my relationship with my husband. My husband is very physically active. I mean, literally walking 10 miles a day at work. And so now that I have the ability to exercise and do more, we're able to do these great activities together that we haven't been able to do before. He loves sports and loves athletics, and I never have for myself in the past, but now I'm starting to really enjoy that. And so now we have this shared passion together. So it has deepened our relationship to the point where it's almost competitive at times. And I do beat him in the races. Girls are faster than boys. And it just drives him nuts. But actually it's really fun. It's very lighthearted because he's pushing me to go faster and I'm pushing him, to support me all along the way. So it's all for the best. For me, there's really two moments of a runner's high, if you will. One is when I'm running long distances, I get into this kind of like Zen meditative state. And I think it's due to the rhythm of the running and the cadence. And then after the running, it's this boost of endorphins, like this feel-good, happy hormone that I feel the rest of the day. So for me, there is a runner's high, and I think it's very individual, and only a person can describe it for themselves. And I have to be doing quite a bit of work, hard work when I'm running to really get those benefits. When I'm done running, the next day when I'm off, so I do one on and one off, the off day, I'm actually looking forward to the next day that I'm running and looking at my training schedule, and I'm getting excited and I'm thinking about what am I going to wear, where am I going to go, like what's the next park that I want to go explore. So I'm craving it, I'm thinking about it, I talk about it, I look at it, I study it. It's just so true, I do crave it, it's weird. So running is an antidepressant. It is an anti-anxiety medication because I'm outside, I'm in nature, I'm with my husband, I'm with other folks of like minds, and just enjoying myself. So the relationship with my husband has evolved in an amazing way. We would go to the grocery store and I was hypersensitive about the food and the ingredients like sugar alcohol, cornstarch, all these things that I had to be caffeine hyper aware of. And so I was obsessive about reading labels, and then he started reading labels and I started to learn about sugar, and then he started to learn about sugar. And over time, he started eating just like me, but just in larger quantities. And so he'll cook foods that I can eat and that he can eat. We make recipes together. We have a pact to try one new thing every week. So when we go to the grocery store, we find one interesting thing. It could be tofu, or it could be edamame, or whatever it is, and we'll try that one thing together. And we just have an ongoing joke that whatever he makes, he's eating about 90% of it, so he better like it. Man, the advice I would give someone who's a bariatric patient for endurance training, that's hard. I think a person has to establish their why. Is it something that they want to challenge themselves for? Is it something that they want to do with somebody else to build a relationship? Is it a cause that they want to run for? You got to find your why. What is it? For me, it couldn't be about my weight because the number on the scale was always something that defined me. So running enables me to establish my health markers by my cardiovascular health, my VO2 rate, my pace, my inches, how my pants fit, all those things that relate to really good endurance training that's not just for the scale. But you got to find your why. What is your why?